Hi again guys, this is my follow-up review of the Dahon E20 Unio. It's a power-assisted e-bike, folding bike. I did an initial review when I first got it and I'd just had it for a couple of days, and now I'm going to give you the benefit of my experience of cycling 1,000 kilometers across China. Okay, I'll cut to the chase. What are the good and bad points about it? After 1,000 kilometers, it's a good e-bike. It's a mid-mounted motor. Bad points: the heavy weight of the motor and the battery means that it's not suitable for long-distance touring. Maybe it's okay for touring for like a week or two, but I found I've had a lot of broken spokes on the rear wheel with it, and I've been cycling over some pretty kind of rough roads in China, not gravel roads, just ordinary roads, but a lot of kind of bumpiness, like you can see here. I mean, maybe I can show you. It's sort of place I've been. This kind of road where you got a lot of bumps in the road, potholes, stuff like that. It's done okay, but I've had to have it repaired twice and have the spokes repaired in it. But look, I'll give you a few little tips and tricks of what I've learnt with it, and I'll show you some of the modifications that I've made with it. As I mentioned in the initial video, I've done a few things. I've changed like the grips, I've put different pedals on, so removable pedals. I've got a different rack. I've put like a slightly larger rack on it, and I've got my Brooks saddle on there. I've put a little wing mirror on. Now you can see here I've mounted on it on the front. I've got a kind of little decathlon bag, but that's pretty much about the major changes I've made on it. I think can't think of anything else I've on it. Got the water bottle on there, but here's a few little tips and tricks that I've learned with it. First of all, the range. You've got your, I'm not sure what the battery capacity is, but they say you can do 100 kilometers with it. Now that's bullshit. I think I've been cycling about 90 kilometers a day, and I'm lucky if I can get 40, 50 kilometers out of that, and that's going on the flat. Once you start going up hills as well, the battery runs out. I've just charged it and I've got like five bars of power there. And one of the things I found which is difficult is after about 40 kilometers, you're down to like 1 bar of power. And then it says in the guidebook, when it starts flashing on the single bar, it's time to recharge. I never know how much kind of range distance you've got left when you've got that one bar of flashing. And the other thing is it kind of varies on how much effort you're putting into it, because sometimes you'll be down to 1 bar and then you'll stop and it goes up to 2 bars again. So it's kind of like an estimated time left. So yeah, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers maybe at a push, I don't know. The way I was using it anyway was I was using it with the power assist on the uphill, and kind of turning it off when I was just going on the flat because I could pedal along. So mid-mounted motor, there's your battery. A few things it took me a while to work out was, yeah, down in there, that's your switching on and off. Turn the motor off now. Turn the battery off, should I say. The other thing I found was, yeah, removing the actual, you can remove the seat post. I don't know if you can see under here, but there is like this little, where is it? There. You can just pull that out. But you've got to be careful when you're sort of reattaching it that the lead is pointing to the rear, because I tried to reattach it and I was pushing it on and it wasn't facing the rear, and I kind of forced it on and it just wasn't connecting. The other thing you've got to watch out for, that's your magnet that does your speed control, or you got the speedometer. And as I said, I had a problem with spokes. That spoke broke and it wasn't no longer aligned with the sensor here. It's got to be just in line with the sensor there. There's actually a couple, you might not be able to see it, there's a couple of arrows on that sensor somewhere, little plus signs. Not easy to see, but the magnet's got to line up with those. So the problem I had was broken spokes. I think they're all good again now. I had them all redone. But if you're buying a bike new, I would check that all your rear spokes are tightened and aligned, and there's no wobble on the rear wheel. So about 3 days in, I had a broken spoke and one other one that was loose, and I got them fixed. And then after the first week, I had the same problem again. I was coming down off a big hill. The road wasn't particularly bad, but I heard this pinging noise, and sure enough, I had two spokes were broken and another one was loose. Some were broken at this point here, some were broken at this point here. Fortunately, I was able to find a Dahon dealer who was able to fix them. So those have been my experiences so far. Not had any problems with the front wheel, and on the whole, cycling with it, it's been good. The disc brakes have been good. I've been doing, I think the longest I've done is about 120 kilometers in one day on the flat. But I've been averaging, my kind of sweet spot has been about 80 kilometers, 90 kilometers a day. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing another 90. And I'm pretty confident I can do that. And what I do is I set off and I'm just pedaling in 0 power, and I just use the power assist when I'm going up a hill. And then towards the end of the day, if I've got like 3 or 4 bars of power, my last 20 or 30 kilometers, I think, okay, I'm feeling tired, I'll put that on. The other thing is I've had to adjust the saddle a few times. Got to make sure your saddle's tightened up. But I'll just show you if I can. Yeah, so like that. I'll take off my... It's just got a Velcro fastener there. Take that off. As you can see, I've got a little phone holder here. The other thing, final tip to watch out for, when you're folding the bike, you've got to be careful that when you fold it, I have to loosen the handlebars, because otherwise there's a danger that you might smash the speedometer, the digital recorder thing, into the frame. I'll see if I can show you what I mean. I'll just put this down here. I'm going to show you what I mean here. When you're folding the bike, what I do, I'm not sure if this is the right thing or not, but I actually loosen that and I fold that slightly away from the, yeah, that makes sense. I fold that slightly away so that if that is going there, that you're not crashing that into the disc brake thing there when you're folding it up. And then again, I'll see if I can show you how I do this. The other thing I'm quite wary of doing is lowering that battery too low, because I don't want that crashing into the ground when I'm folding it. So that's the bike folded up. That's how I might be carrying it if I'm taking it on a train or on a bus. So the two things to watch out for is, again here, just make sure this is not getting too close to, let's say, either side, so that when you're carrying it, that's not bashing into here. And also, like I said, I'm very wary of having the seat post bearing the weight when I'm putting it on the ground. I'd rather have the it resting on like the handlebars or something. So there you are. So the Dahon E20 Unio e-bike, you can get about 40 or 50 k's out of it on the power. It does go well, I think, in short distances. I've been doing up to 120 kilometers a day. That's, I think, the maximum I did in one day. But I'm generally doing like 80 to 90. Like tomorrow, I'm currently at Huashan in Shanxi province, and tomorrow I'm going to the Terracotta Warriors. That's 90 kilometers from here, and I'm pretty confident I can do that in one day. So yeah, overall my verdict is, yeah, it's a good bike. The mid-mounted motor is pretty good, but you just got to watch out because they've put a motor and a battery on a regular bike, and that just puts too much weight on the rear wheel, I think, and that's why you're getting broken spokes. But overall, a pretty good bike, very nippy. You can get up to like, I'm averaging like 20 kilometers, sometimes 17 kilometers an hour. Sometimes you can get up to like 25, 28 kilometers, but on the flat with the wind behind you. But yeah, just be careful of the speedometer and the battery.